the life. Living the life. Living the life. Living the life. Living the life.
Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to Living the Life on Thursday, 3rd of December with Sajid Bada.
Oh, and Hajra Khan. Thank you for joining us this evening. We have an amazing show lined up, and when we mean amazing, it really is, because our first guest this evening is here to do something very exciting. It is very exciting, isn't it?
It's extremely exciting. Look at the ingredients that's laid out on the table
I'm so glad
there.
that we're here, because he's going to be making the world's most expensive burger.
Can you believe it?
Right here, live in Islam Channel studio.
And, as usual, we'll be bringing you features from around the world, but that's not all. We're also joined by Mokhtar Ghaffar, who's here to tell us about an initiative called the Big Sleep Out. It's to raise awareness of homelessness throughout London.
Fantastic. Please bring my bib, people. Get it ready.
No dribbling tonight, OK?
I'll try not to.
OK.
But first, we're heading over to Tunisia, where 3,000 years of history of olive farming is under threat, with warnings that production is at risk of halving by 2030 because of floods and droughts caused by the extremes of climate change. It's very sad, isn't it, that the economy, the local economy, also relies upon the exports of olives. But with climate change, it's potentially impacting that. So either they've got to look to finding ways of genetically modifying the crop to be able to cope with the change in the weather, or find an alternative
source of income.
Yeah, absolutely, which is very, very sad.
It is
especially
extremely.
after 3,000 years.
Yes.
Wow, subhanallah.
And we don't GM food, not good.
Well, now, undoubtedly one of the most frequently cooked items in the world, burgers, which are considered to be an all-American food. Of course, there's a wide range, a plethora of burgers, from simple to complex, and perfect arguably means a different type of burger for each person.
Extra large one for you then, hey?
Oh,
But today in our studio, our first guest will be showing us how to make the world's most expensive burger. Welcome to the show, Chris Large.
Thank you very much for
Chris
having me.
Large!
I love your name.
Beautiful name.
Thank you.
Phenomenal. Now, Chris, you're going to be doing something which is pretty remarkable today. But before we start, let's find out a little bit more about yourself.
Sure.
You started cooking at the tender age, funny.
Oh, the puns, hey?
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Tender age of 15.
I did indeed.
Now, by the looks of you, that doesn't seem like too long ago.
Yeah, a
but
few years ago, yeah.
My goodness, my goodness.
He'll be paying you next. Yeah.
I'll give you the money later. Yeah.
Now, you're Australian.
I am.
You don't have to
indeed.
apologise.
No.
But it's 15 years old. What made you get into cooking? What was it that interested you?
Well, it's funny because when I was at school, it was careers time at school, and we had to choose what we wanted to do with the rest of our lives. And when you're 15, who knows what they want to do with the rest of their life? So at that time, I wanted to be the skipper of a fishing boat. So I said that to the careers teacher. I want to be the skipper of a fishing boat. And he said, "Leave it with me, and I'll see what I can do." So he couldn't get me onto a fishing boat, of course, because of insurance reasons, wouldn't let a child go into a fishing boat. So he got me into a seafood restaurant that was owned by the largest seafood fishing family in the state, and started working there as part of my careers time. So I didn't really like school, and when I was there, they offered me an apprenticeship, so it seemed logical that I would start cooking, so I did. That was 27 years ago now.
Was it either your mother or your father or somebody in the family that inspired that? Because is it just something that you maybe watched on TV, or where did it come from, that inspiration?
Well, I mean, my mum and my grandma both cooked professionally. They weren't chefs, but they were cooks at different places that they worked at. My brother always wanted to be a chef. He's been a chef for nearly the same time as I have. He's older than I am. So I suppose it was there, and it was always part of my life when I was growing up. But it wasn't really the big... I always wanted to be a chef, but since I've been doing it, I mean, it gets in your blood and you can't escape it. It's, there's some people that do it because it's their love and their passion. For me, it's what I'm very good at, and it's, I can't get away from it even if I tried, I don't think.
How did you come to wanting to create the world's most expensive burger? I mean, the ingredients that are involved in this are absolutely phenomenal.
They are indeed. I was approached by Groupon, funnily enough. They sold 5 million vouchers here, and they said to me, could you create the world's most expensive burger as a PR thing for us? And I said, of course, if you've got enough money, I can do anything. So I spent 3 weeks playing with ingredients and came up with the final result that set the new world record. So
tell us about the ingredients
Yeah.
in this, the world's biggest burger?
Sure, it's not the biggest.
Well, the world's
Expensive.
most expensive. Sorry.
Luxurious.
Sure. Well, it's funny you should mention that because the Guinness don't recognise my burger as being the world's most expensive because they have the dual record holder of the most expensive is also the world's largest commercially available burger at 550 kilos.
Right. So you can't
550
compete with
kilos?
Yeah, I mean it's huge. You have to lift it with a forklift. It's
No one's ever tried eating it.
no, not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's in America, so
their
maybe
own.
I'm not going to say anything. So yeah, I mean that's how it came about. They approached me and I did it, and yeah, I mean the ingredients that we're using are particularly expensive.
What's the rarest ingredient that goes into this burger?
Well, I'll give you the list. I mean, it's Wagyu beef, New Zealand venison, black truffle brie, white truffle.
So maybe let's get the camera on there. So
Sure,
There we go.
sure.
Okay. Great.
Okay. So this is the Wagyu beef. That's mixed with New Zealand venison. Wagyu beef is about 350 pounds a kilo. So
Wow.
very expensive.
And why is it so?
Wagyu
Sorry,
beef,
why is it so
yeah.
expensive? Yeah.
Well, the original Wagyu beef comes from Kobe in Japan, and what they do is they feed it beer every day. They massage sake into the cow, and they play it music. So it's a very, very happy life for the cow until they knock it on the
Wow.
head. So just the way that they rear it is exceedingly expensive. So
The marbling is quite nice. On
it is, yeah. It's the highest fat content of meat in the world, and it's the marbling that makes it taste as good as it does.
Fantastic.
But this one it's a halal version. They don't feed it beer and they don't massage
Brilliant.
sake
We
into
like
it.
that.
So it's
That's good.
produced in Australia. And it's wonderful. You like it.
So we've got some venison there,
We have it, New Zealand venison
Yep.
and Wagyu beef mixed together.
right?
And then inside, to create what's called a juicy Lucy, is the black truffle brie. That's from France.
Which looks amazing on its own.
So if you have a bit of a smell of that one, you'll smell the truffle in it.
Woo!
Wonderful, wonderful flavour.
It's very. Yeah. Let's have a look at that.
Wow.
Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. It's
Nice bit of bread and that.
Oh, it's
You're
wonderful.
well away.
It doesn't get better.
toast. Lovely.
So then we have some Canadian lobster. That's cooked in Iranian saffron.
Very nice.
I mean, that
So,
looks amazing.
yeah, Iranian saffron and some double cream. Very, very rich. Some British beef bacon, so it's halal beef bacon. Really, really wonderful, and it's coated with Canadian maple syrup, so it's got a really...
That's lovely.
it's very, very
A
rich.
glug, hopefully, of.
Iranian
Yes.
saffron, that's not something you can get in your local shops now, is it?
It's
No.
harder to come by.
Yeah.
It's getting more and more prevalent. It's easier to come by nowadays, but it's exceedingly expensive because it comes from a crocus flower, and there's only 3 strands come from each flower. So when you're talking about a gram, you're talking about probably 50 flowers.
So you've got duck egg. You've got different tomatoes there. You've got green.
We have, yeah. These
Red.
are called heritage tomatoes.
Okay.
So you'll see there's different colours and different shapes and colours.
Yeah.
Now nowadays, if you buy tomatoes, they don't really taste like tomatoes because they're greenhouse reared and they're not ripened on the vine. So generally, they don't taste a lot like tomatoes. But
So
these,
what's the difference with these ones then?
it's an old variety of tomatoes, and it's an old breed. So they taste like tomatoes. They're really, really rich and really wonderful flavour.
Superb. And then you've got mayonnaise. You've got mango.
We have, that's Brazilian mango with,
Okay.
that's with apple juice and some dill and some saffron as well, Iranian saffron in there as well. So just tying all the ingredients together.
So you're going to be putting all this together for us.
I am.
In the second half.
I am.
And then I believe you're going to give us the honour of being able to eat the burger.
It would be
Me
my
at
pleasure
least,
if you eat
anyway.
it. It's,
Absolutely
I don't
first.
want to. I mean, we've got some gold leaf here as well that we're going to coat the bun with.
Yeah.
So this is 24 karat gold. It is real gold, and it's edible gold, and it has to be 23 of 24 carats.
Very pretty.
Leave it open.
Wow.
Sure.
Wow.
There we are.
It's Chris, and please, please, don't take this the wrong way, but
Of course.
this is very extravagant.
It is indeed.
And especially in a time that we're at right now, where there are a lot of people who are living on the poverty line.
Sure.
There are people who aren't actually having more than maybe even one meal a day.
Of course.
They are tough times for people in this country and around the world as
Indeed.
well. This is very difficult, I'm sure, for people to be watching and saying, well, we shouldn't be doing this and what's the reasoning behind it.
Of course.
But I know that you do an incredible amount of charity work as well. So how would you respond to people who are saying that should we be doing this right now in this time?
Of course. I mean, look, I've dealt with this response. When I first did it, I set the record in October last year. And one of the first criticisms that I came up against was, you know, you're creating the world's most expensive burger when people are not eating, you know. And I said, look, I understand the argument. But look, these ingredients exist in the world. They're there, they exist, and they're here already. It's not like I'm creating something from nothing. So I'm creating a burger as a PR thing to see if it can be done, to see if the record can be broken. And in my career, to do something this outside of the norm is very, very rare. So whenever you have an opportunity to do something so different, you know, you have an opportunity to do it and you take it. So I have. Me creating this burger with ingredients that exist has about as much impact on world poverty as people being lucky enough to have the internet to write the comments that they have about it. So I understand the argument and I understand that people are starving in the world, but that's the thing. The world still goes on, and we try and do things to help those people that are in those situations. But you know, me creating a burger has no impact on that.
Because while you're doing this, you're also doing a lot of charity work as well together. So it's not that you're just doing this and saying, "Well, sod everyone else," right? Yeah. So that's fantastic. Really is. A hat off to you.
And you also write quite a bit as well, don't you?
I love writing. I mean, it's whether I'm a good writer or not. It's not for me to say.
Tell us about it.
Well, tell us about your books. Yeah.
I've written a movie. I wrote a movie in 2000. Went over to America to meet a producer there, but I landed the day before September 11th, so obviously didn't get my meeting, so it wasn't the best time to be in America.
No.
But no, I like to write books. I mean, it's all fictional stories. It's nothing to do with the trade. But yeah, it's just I love writing. It's I work 100 hours every week, so it doesn't leave a lot of time for everything else. I've got 2 young children as well, so...
My goodness.
It's a challenge,
we'd love to know more. Hadra is a talented journalist as well, so hence her interest in writing. We want to know more about you, Chris.
Wonderful.
We certainly want to know more about what's going on down there.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, but now it's time for a quick break. But make sure you stay tuned, because in just a few minutes, Chris Large...
Mr. Large.
We'll be making the world's most expensive burger live on Islam Channel, so make sure you don't go anywhere. We're not.
After the break, Rottingwood turns Austria's poorest town into a green spectacle. Poland's coal habit is hard to kick. And Mukhtar Ghaffar will tell us about the Big Sleep Out initiative. All this and plenty more. We'll see you in a bit.
Living the life.
Living the Life is brought to you by Brunei Halal, bringing you tomorrow's lifestyle today. And purematrimony.com, because practice makes perfect. And Al Haramain, excellence in perfume since 1970. In association with Muslim Aid.
We at Brunei Halal ensure the utmost quality from all our products. By guaranteeing our innovative in-house development chefs only use the highest quality halal ingredients and trusted British non-stunned halal meat suppliers, therefore providing traceable and unrivaled halal assurance from farm to family. Brunei Halal.
Join us this December over the bank holiday weekend for the second family conference. Building the fabric of society, ridding ourselves from social ills. Experience an Islamic environment at the prestigious 4-star award-winning Orchard Hotel and East Midlands venue for the entire family. Keynote lectures, interactive workshops, intriguing panel discussions and a dedicated youth programme for 4 to 16-year-olds. Book now, familyconference.co.uk.
That night clearly. I was so scared and so cold as I didn't think I was going to make it through the night. I shouldn't have made it through the night, but I did. Thanks to to Reed Foundation, we survived last winter, but will we survive this winter?
Give an orphan child a warmer winter by donating £30. reedfoundation.org.uk.
This December, connect with your Creator and visit the House of Allah. Join Al Qadi Tours and Revival Tours. From Mecca to Medina, an Umrah package like no other. Relive the experience of Hijrah by learning the journey taken by our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions. Renowned Sheikhs, Sheikh Bilal Ismail and Sheikh Sajid Omar. This package will include luxurious 5-star accommodations in Mecca. Enjoy enchanting views of Masjid al-Haram for 6 nights in the luxurious Fairmont Clock Royal Tower Hotel. In the blessed city of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, enjoy your stay and be part of the trip to historical sites like Badr, Uhud, Masjid Quba, and a very special night tour of Masjid al-Nabawi. For full package details, please visit our website www.alqaditours.com.
Do you want to test your fitness? Join T-Bar Foundation in the Marathon International in Marrakesh with professional marathon runner Rashid Afouza between the 29th of January and the 1st of February 2016 and help raise funds to extend Al Falah Hospital in Pakistan. Packages start from only £185 and include 3 nights at a 4-star hotel, guided tours, food and transport to all venues. To register, please visit tbarfoundation.org/marathon or call us on 0207 330 8254. Ilma is an exciting Islamic lifestyle e-magazine exploring religion, spirituality, social issues, health, culture, world cuisine and style. With a global readership of over 100,000, Ilma is now available to download as a brand new app on your tablet or smartphone. You can enjoy all this fantastic educational content from the palm of your hand. Ilma magazine brought to you by the Dawah Project, spreading Islam through digital media. For more information and advertising opportunities, please call 0207 330 1744.
Living the Life is brought to you by Brunei Halal, bringing you tomorrow's lifestyle today, and PureMatrimony.com, because practice makes perfect. And Al Haramain, excellence in perfume since 1970. In association with Muslim Aid.
Living the life.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Living the Life. It was once one of Austria's poorest towns, but Gessing has emerged as a global mecca for green energy by using rotting wood to produce its entire heat and power from renewable sources. No, it's really impressive, isn't it?
It is, very.
Now, I know where there's tons of dead wood where we could use to make renewable
go on,
energy.
tell us,
But best
Sajid.
not. Best not. But anyway.
We're keeping it all on the level today,
I think
aren't we?
we will.
We are, yeah. Anyway, there's no national figure for how many homeless people there are across the UK, and this is because homelessness is recorded differently in each region, and because many homeless people do not show up on official statistics at all.
Yep, and our second guest of the evening is a director of a charity in South Africa called the Hope Kitchen, and he'll be sleeping in a cardboard box this Friday as part of an initiative called the Big Sleep Out, to raise awareness of those living homeless throughout London. Welcome to the show, Muqtada Ghaffar. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
Hey, fantastic for being here. It's a real honour, actually.
It's a pleasure.
My brother, the Big Sleep Out, what it's all about. Tell us about the Hope Charity.
Well, let me start off with the Sleep Out. It's happening tomorrow. It happens every year, and we just basically do it to make a bit more of an awareness, especially over the festive season, of all the people that sleep rough on the streets. It's all good and well talking about it, trying to make an awareness and promote it, but you really truly understand something when you're in the mix. So yes, like you said, I'll be in a cardboard box tomorrow. I'm not sure how it's going to fare out, but inshallah we'll do our best. And, you know, we'll understand more. We understand exactly what these people need. Some of them have psychological issues. Some of them just literally have given up. And some people, you know, it needs more of a, how do we say, it's more of a one-on-one situation you have to understand. But you can't truly appreciate something till you know it.
Let's come back to that, because that's a very important point. Chris, if you wouldn't mind, if you could start cooking for us. We'll come to you shortly.
While you're doing your thing about people who aren't eating, I'll start cooking.
It's law of attraction, man. I'm here for you.
What's interesting is that you guys know each other, you know, because of Chris's. He does a lot of charity work as well.
Yeah.
This is obviously a kind of a separate issue, but coming back,
mainly.
Yeah, but coming back to you, Mukhtar. Now you had a very, mashallah, a very successful career in the city,
Alhamdulillah,
in headhunting, and then you decided that you wanted to really focus on helping the less privileged, right?
Yes.
And you decided to set up Hope Kitchen, which is in Johannesburg. Why Johannesburg? Why all the way in South Africa?
Let me go back a year before this story, so you get an idea why. So, I was in Dubai for the last several years, almost a few years short of a decade, and we were working there. I had my own little business set up there. And a lot of my staff used to work as drivers, and they lived in the labour camps there. So obviously, the lifestyle for the people in that situation is not as glamorous or as luxurious as most of us. So me and a few of my friends and a few of the colleagues, we all got together on a Friday after Jummah, and we'd go to the camps and just give like little fruit and veg boxes. What to help see these guys through for the week or for the couple of days. And it was good, you know, it was nice. It was a great feeling. And we did that on a weekly basis, and then my eldest brother and I do a bit of trading in South Africa. And it just happened to be during that time, one of our business partners, who's a very, very dear friend of mine, was in Dubai. I said, listen, tag along, it's Friday. You're not going to join me for prayers, but join me for some after, you know, goodness that we distribute. So he came along, and he was just like really getting involved, giving the fruit and vegetables out. And he said, you know, it's amazing. He was just in awe. And he said, I need to do this in South Africa. He has, I think, the second or the third biggest fruit and veg farm in all of SA. So he has a massive surplus of vegetables that are left over. They're not rotten, they're not gone off, they're just fresh
How
vegetables.
wonderful to be able to use all of that.
Yeah, and he has enough to feed a couple of thousand people, but he just literally, when the shop was shut, he has about 2,000 staff that work from there, just come, take what they're going to do and just go home. So we created a plan. We said, look, let's use your stock, your vegetables, a bit of your manpower, and feed a few people in the more rural parts of Joburg. And we started off feeding a few people, and then via friend of a friend said, listen, I've got a school. Not many people come to it, and those that do come to it, you know, it's a hard graft out there. So we just said, all right, let's launch a feeding program. So we just provided free hot meals from about 75 to 50 kids that would go. Once we provided the feeding, it was a full house of just 200 kids.
Amazing.
So the head teacher was the teachers were grateful. So we planted that model. We did another school, and you know the response we got. We have teachers and local village chiefs and local ministers saying, look, ministers, we want to get involved. We want to spread this out in Joburg and other parts of Africa where people are less fortunate.
So how many people do you say
well,
that you possibly reach and help?
Well, right now, again, this is the infancy of our Hope Kitchen, and I'll come to that in a minute. Right now, we're doing just under 350 kids, alhamdulillah, on a daily basis. We're feeding them, we're reaching out to them. But we have enough potential just in SA to expand that, literally put a zero behind it, to make it 3,500 to 4,000 people.
Inshallah.
We've started off in parts of Peshawar and in the provinces of Sindh in Pakistan. We're doing a few schools there as well, with local support and local help, and that's doing really well too.
Chris, a question for you. Wow, I mean, the smell is amazing, but just going back to your charity work, what can you tell us about how that's been coming along, what the progress is there?
I was really fortunate. I was in Nigeria a few years ago, and I met the head of a charity there called the Roches Foundation, Awilo Roches, who ran for the Nigerian presidency a few years ago. And he runs a foundation there that houses, educates and feeds children whose parents have died of AIDS in Nigeria. And I think when I was there, he had 6,000 children in his schools that he paid for personally out of his own pocket. And there's a lot of fundraising as well. So I did some work with them there and here in London as well. And last year, after I created this burger, I put out a request that people nominate people who had done amazing things around the city, and I was going to cook the festive feast, I called it. So I was going to cook for people that were doing charity work like yourself, for them, to reward them for the work that they were doing. And there was a very deserving group, I cannot for the life of me remember what they were called, a group of youngsters that were looking after kids who were coming out of foster care. So I was really fortunate to go and cook them their Christmas dinner. It was wonderful.
Wow.
It's phenomenal. It looks like there could be some synergy here between the two of you.
Well, it all depends on how it tastes.
But the way it smells, mashallah, it
The
smells
smoke's coming in,
incredible.
so I'm getting a good smell of it. But no, inshallah, you know, there is never enough goodness that can be spread out in the world. And we obviously have just come back to London. I've been here for about a good part of 8-10 months now, not been in Dubai. And people from all walks of life, from all different backgrounds are kind of getting in touch, and I'm a bit overwhelmed. I'm like, guys. But it's given me the confidence and the motivation to make this into a bit more of a professional outfit.
Absolutely.
And no, if Chris wants to get involved, likewise, lots of other people from all different backgrounds, religions have got involved. And we are just kind of structuring, we are launching out, inshallah, next January. We are going to be going live with a few schemes we're doing in London as well. Inshallah, I've been invited to speak in the Houses of Parliament with the Education Minister, where I'll be promoting Hope Kitchen a bit more as well. So people are coming forward.
Alhamdulillah, that's good. I mean, Hope Kitchen, and you're talking about education. I mean, both of you, and feeding children globally. I mean, are you looking to feed children in schools in the UK? I mean, because that's a huge problem.
That's
children.
it is a very huge problem, but alhamdulillah, we don't have an issue like in some schools where, well, again, in certain parts of Africa and Asia, where kids, they don't just eat in school, they don't eat throughout the day. We're very grateful and very fortunate. We don't realise how much we are living in this country. Where kids don't have that problem. Yes, there is a bit of a problem with individuals, certain groups, but I think our government and our country does a fantastic job with addressing and looking after them. But the schools
but we are still hearing about a lot of kids who are actually going to school without breakfast.
Oh, yes.
Their parents are unable to pay
their school meal. Their main meal for the day.
Yeah, that's it.
What we are looking to launch out probably in the second half of the year, Hope Kitchen will be doing food banks in London as well, or all across UK. We're going to start in London. So we will be doing food banks across certain locations. I can't give you more details of it yet because it's still a pilot scheme. But yeah, no, we will be rolling out. Correct. We do see there's a need for it. We will like to approach a few of our marketing guys have approached some of the big supermarket chains. We're in discussions with them, so it's looking positive.
Oh, fantastic, I'd love to hear more.
Great.
And the burger's sizzling away. I love you.
Well, let's see if you like the taste first before you say that.
It's almost time for a quick break, but hey, before we go, we have a story straight from Poland. Relying on coal to generate nearly 90% of its electricity, Poland has vowed to keep the polluting fossil fuel as a main pillar of its energy security. But experts say the policy is thwarting the growth of green energy and causing tension within the European Union as it pushes ahead with measures to lower the greenhouse gas emissions responsible for global warming.
After the break, taste for luxury. Ethiopia's new elite spur a housing boom. And Chris Large will show us how to make the world's most expensive burger. All this and plenty more. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Living the life.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Living the Life. Now, white fences and manicured lawns have begun to surround the villas and elegant housing estate in Ethiopia, a potent symbol of emerging elite in a country better known for drought and famine.
Very different to what we saw in, 84?
Yeah, with Live Aid. And
Band-Aid.
Band-Aid, sorry, Band-Aid, yeah.
And Niger.
But I mean, that's quite surreal, white picket fences in Ethiopia.
Yeah, but it looks very...
I mean, it does,
it's fantastic, you know.
Yeah.
It's great that things are changing there.
Yeah,
and may they continue to change, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Now, Chris, he's my Habibi. Chris, you are now putting together the world's most expensive burger.
I am.
That's £1,100.
Indeed.
You're going to give us the opportunity to eat half each, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was that my half and your half, is it?
I think whoever's going to be here first is going to get to eat it.
£550 worth. OK, would you talk us through...
Sure.
Your art.
Okay, so what we got first is the brioche bun. It's a plain brioche bun. It's rich enough as it is, and I didn't feel that we needed to do anything else.
It's a little sweet as well, isn't it, brioche?
It is, yeah. It's good. It's a higher sugar content and higher butter content as well, so it's wonderful. Really, really rich. To that,
Lots
we're
of
going to
calories.
add the matcha mayonnaise.
Yep.
Now, matcha is a Japanese green tea that used to be just the Emperor of Japan would have, very high in antioxidant, and that's why I used it, because this burger has 2,618 calories. It's, calorie count is huge.
You don't need to eat it.
So, in order to digest it better, I use the matcha because it's a very high antioxidant. It helps to digest food better. So we're going to put some of that onto there.
Smear it on. Don't be shy.
Oh, don't worry, I won't be. It's wonderful stuff.
More the merrier.
So put some of that on there. So that's the matcha mayonnaise. Then we have some gem lettuce here, baby gem lettuce.
Love it.
Now this is just, it's nice and crisp and fresh, and it also stops the bun from going soggy from the meat that we're going to put on there.
Okay.
Okay, so then the meat's cooked now.
Yep.
Now you'll see here that the cheese is starting to leak out.
And that was the brie that you put inside, right?
The black truffle brie. Now this is, when you have the cheese inside the burger, it's called a Juicy Lucy.
A Juicy Lucy, okay,
yeah. Because it is very
that.
juicy. So that's one's on there. I'll
Okay.
put that one. That gives us a bit more room. So on top of that, we have the heritage tomatoes. I've sliced a little bit of the yellow one, a little bit of the green one. Put that onto there.
Heritage tomatoes.
Where did they get their name from? Heritage tomatoes.
Heritage, because it's an old breed, and it's an old varietal of tomatoes. Well, different breeds of older varietals of tomatoes. Really good taste, and it tastes like tomatoes, which is rare nowadays.
Absolutely.
So we have some of the British halal bacon, beef bacon here, soaked in Canadian maple syrup. It's cooked in that. It's very,
just
very
a reminder to everyone watching, this is all halal ingredients.
Of course, yeah.
So we just want to have not put any doubt on our character.
Very aware of where I am today. So I wanted to ensure that I did everything correctly.
Brilliant.
I consulted a good friend of mine as well to make sure I got it right.
Good.
So that's the halal bacon on there.
Yep.
Next we have some Canadian lobster that I cooked in Iranian saffron and double cream.
And double cream?
Just to add to the richness a little bit more.
Oh my goodness.
So that's going on to there.
But you also do a halal version of this burger in your restaurant, don't you?
Well, not exactly this one, but the
burgers in general.
Burgers in general, yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
I run I'm the operations chef for a brand called Burgista Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of our food is halal, and all of our beef is raised organically. It's not organic because it's not organic certified, but it is raised organically.
Brilliant.
So really good quality stuff.
Okay. So
so that's
what's
on
next?
there. Then we have some very, very expensive caviar, if I can get it open, which is...
Caviar as well.
Of course.
Yep.
Now, you'll notice I didn't season the burger. Now, the reason being is caviar is very salty, obviously. So as you can see here.
Love it.
Very salty, so that's the reason we don't season it. It's the hardest part about doing this burger, believe it or not, was balancing all the flavours, because obviously there's a lot of different flavours, and the flavour profiles are very, very strong.
Yeah.
So it's balancing that to get it right.
Yeah, I love good caviar at the weekend.
It's just wonderful. It's,
How long did it actually take you to get the balance and flavours right? Because this is not something you would have put together overnight and said, "What, that works."
No, it was 3 weeks I worked on it.
Okay.
And it was, I've been asked before, could you make it more expensive? Of course I could, I did it with these ingredients because it tasted good, and obviously they're expensive.
And that's what, smoked duck egg there?
This is a smoked duck egg.
Love
now, it's very rich, very, very smoky. Smoked it with hickory wood chips.
Okay.
And we're going to coat this with the gold leaf. So this is real gold, and it's biologically inert, so it has to be edible gold leaf, which is 24 carats.
Well, what makes it edible?
That it has to be 24 carats.
24 carats.
Right.
So
why would you want to eat gold? I mean, I would
this,
like to
this
have
is
a bar
purely
of it and sell it.
for no other reason other than just to make it, exceedingly expensive and
Grandeur,
ridiculous.
right?
Yes, it is. This is the grandeur.
If you don't want to eat it, you can just let me and Chris carry on.
Excuse me, you have to get in the queue
Okay,
there.
right, okay, we're right up against time now.
Okay,
So-
so that's the egg coated in gold leaf. That's going to go on the top
Okay,
there.
great.
Goodness.
All right, now,
It's a
Okay.
real balancing act.
yeah,
Right.
so we're going to put some of the sauce on the top.
Okay, Chris and White Talker, how can people get in touch and find out, what you're up to?
Well, I mean, my website, chrislarge.co.uk.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff on there. I do some writing as well, so I put some of the books I've written on there.
The Burgister website as well.
The Burgister, that's currently being built. That should be finished hopefully tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, Chris. Okay, so while you're finishing that off, is there anything else to add before you put the other part of the brioche on top?
No, I'm just looking forward to you guys eating it.
Okay, Mukhtar, so tell us about the big sleep out.
Please.
You're
Well,
doing
the big
that
sleep
tomorrow.
out is inshallah tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
And we are going to be experiencing what people in the street go through, basically, and make more of an awareness of it.
So if people want to support you in the Big Sleep Out, how can they do that?
Well, there is a Virgin Money website link we've got, so I'll share that with you guys later.
Great.
And people can donate, get involved, or just follow what's happening. And alhamdulillah, me and the team have raised a couple of £1,000s for it so far.
And this is this is great. And Hope Kitchen, how can people get involved with that initiative?
I would love for people to touch base with me. Any ideas or want to get involved and volunteer, just send me an email on info@hope-kitchen.org.
Right.
And we'll take it from there. If I don't get back to you straight away, there's a lot of emails coming, but we will...
Now, Chris, you're grating truffle, are you?
I am. This is the original recipe was black truffle, but white truffle. But at this time of the year, it's very difficult to get it. So I've got black truffle. For
We're
today.
not fast.
No,
we just want to taste this.
It's just as good. It's
Oh
just
my
as good.
goodness, Chris!
Look at your face.
Fantastic.
I know. Okay.
And then we'll just.
Okay. So, sorry, Hajra, as I say, a moment not on the lips, forever on the hips. So, so if you wouldn't mind just passing it here, because actually I have been told to grab the burger.
Yeah, no,
I'm really sorry.
You need feeding, so,
it's not that. All right, you have a bit and I'll have a bit. Okay, bismillah. So I'll have a bit of the lob to... All right, you know what, this is really...
Honestly, seriously, I think I'll let you. I'm not going to...
Right, okay, this is really...
guests should
go
first.
Bismillah.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
And we'll let... Mukhtar.
No, please.
No, seriously.
When the cameras go off, I'll jump in properly.
You know what?
Don't worry.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. A massive thank you to our guests, Chris Large and Mukhtar Ghaffar.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And of course to you at home for watching. And remember that you can stay with us on Twitter at Islam Channel, #LCL, and on Facebook.com/The Islam Channel. And my
Plus.
yes, plus.
Don't forget, you can watch your favourite clips again via youtube.com, islamchannel.tv.
So until tomorrow, Assalamu alaikum.